Verity.
Verity.
It's Verity. Brought to you by Prodigy.
Assalamualaikum and hey guys, buckle up for a new episode of Sharafana Rizwan on IPRMSA podcast, the one and only podcast made to teach rising business person, influencer or any person like you on how to pave your way in the modern life. Whether you are a business person or influencer, you are sure to pick up tidbits of actionable advice when you listen to me on IPRMSA podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about another round of PR topics due to the popular demand. I will go over why starting strong with your PR is so important in today's oversaturated business world and what you can do right away to grab your customers' attention. You will be able to recognize the exact formula to turn your business into 24 karat gold in the first few seconds by the end of this episode. The more you do public relations, the more you can build your brand. PR can help you build public relationships and networking, raise brand awareness, build your credibility, and get more customers who are loyal to you, among other things. Here are some common myths about public relations. Many business leaders do not use or misuse public relations in their businesses because of this toxic myth. You can use this moment to clear the air and dispel some common PR myths. Let's dispel 10 of them so you can make smart PR decisions and get them done quickly. The first toxic myth of PR is too expensive for my brand. There are a lot of options for PR at every price level. Hire a cheap freelancer, a small company, or a big PR firm. Whatever fits your needs and your budget, you should think about your other options and the benefit that PR could have for your business before you write it off as too expensive or not worth the money. PR can be cheaper or more effective than advertising at the end of the day, so it may be better than advertising. Short-term boosts are not the goal of good PR. Instead, good PR boosts your brand reputations over the time, not just now. Business-to-business PR in particular makes people pay attention and aware. For example, a PR firm can get your brand good media attention. This can lead to more media outlets talking about your subject, which can show that you know what you are talking about and are credible. Brands often make money when they have more sales and keep growing. The second toxic myth about PR is, I can do my own PR. Even though you may want to cut costs, PR is more than just getting media attention. People who know how to do public relations well can help you to improve your reputation and get more people to notice your business. If you have a good PR strategy, you might be able to reach more people and figure out who and how to target them. They can also help you to get booked for events and put you in for award as well. Earned, owned, and paid media can all be used together to help your reach and popularity. If you want to be good at public relations, you do not have to do it all the time. People who work full-time have a lot of different jobs. Companies who try to do their own PR usually do not have a plan and don't do well. The third toxic myth about PR is not the same as media relations. Media relations is part of public relations. PR, on the other hand, includes a lot of other things. It also has a strategic focus to back it up. It's not just a business deal. It's all starts with figuring out how to use PR opportunities to meet your goals and objectives. As an example, if you want more people to visit your website, you might be better off writing and posting articles in a specific place instead of trying to get the media to write about you. To get more people to talk about you, they could book you on panels at events and webinars. Or you might decide that media relations are exactly what you need to help your business. That decision, on the other hand, needs to be made with a plan in mind, not in a whim. The fourth toxic myth about PR is just advertising. PR is a lot more than just advertising. When you look at this way, advertising is paid visibility and PR is earned visibility. PR often use someone else to say good things about your company, like a journalist or a person who is well known. If someone else says your company is good, it's usually more trustworthy than if you pay for ads to say that your company is good. A recent study found that three sources people trust the most are recommendations from people they know, online recommendations, and editorial content like a newspaper, magazine, or blog. The fifth toxic myth about PR is PR people don't control journalists. In PR, people do not whisper in the ears of journalists and tell them what to write about. That's the jobs of journalists to report on things. PR can help you position your story in a way to make it more interesting to the journalists so they will want to write about you. PR also makes sure that the information the journalists get is correct and the article does not have any factual mistakes. PR people can ask any mistake to be fixed, and especially if the article is on the internet, or if it's in print, a correction is made and put in the paper. Often, PR people have a good relationship with journalists, which make it easier for the client to be mentioned in the news. Finally, you need a good story which a PR person can write. The sixth toxic myth about PR is PR professionals just write press release. Since press releases are a big part of public relations, they are only part of the whole thing. PR is a whole field. Their main goal is to help a brand's image and credibility grow and stay strong. Besides coming up with a strategy and working with the media, PR professionals also help with crisis management, social media strategy, product launch, speech, influencer relation, thought leadership strategy, awards and events, also content marketing. The seventh toxic myth about PR is not fake news. PR is not about making people excited by making up a story from scratch. Anyone who does that is not being moral. People who work in PR instead use creativity and analytics to tell a story that your audience will like. A good publicist knows how to turn everyday facts into a story that people want to hear. It's both the art and science of PR. The next toxic myth about PR is, if I don't have a story, I don't need PR. PR, on the other hand, does not rely on deep story. Effective PR people make story about what your company is already doing. When it's come to public relations, though thought leadership PR is a very important part of it. This makes you a well-known expert in your field and the people turn to when they need help. Journalists and people in your field look for people who are thought leaders. PR experts know that many brands do not pay attention to what makes a good story. If you want the media to cover a business growth, a charity event, or a funding run, you can write a PR narrative to help you get the attention you want. The second last toxic myth about PR is, I only need PR when I'm in trouble. False. It is true that crisis management is very important part of public relations. But crisis management does not just show up when bad press comes out. Crisis management works best when it's done behind the scene. It can help you figure out when the trouble is coming and how to lessen the effects. A PR expert who has worked with your brand for a long time will be able to act quickly to avoid a crisis or make sure it's handled well. They also play an important role in building and maintaining your brand's reputation. People work on this for a while, but when a strong reputation is already built up, it won't be as easily damaged by a bad press or other problems. Last but not least, the toxic myth about PR is all about sales. The purpose of public relations is not to increase revenue or lead generation. Public relations is all about relationships, improve customer loyalty and brand recognition. However, by building a brand reputation, PR can drive sales lead. With the true ties between the customer, clients and partners, PR can help, not just the product and service, but trust. PR expert at different levels and price points. PR is more than just writing press release. It includes crisis and reputation management, social media, content marketing, media relation, and any other tactics that will elevate a brand. Now that you have a better understanding of public relations, you should feel more secure about investing in your PR strategy. That's all from me, Sharafana Rizwan on IPRMSA podcast. See you guys very soon on my next topic. Bye and Assalamualaikum.
Verity.
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 It's Verity. Brought to you by